Hey everyone, welcome to Average Joe Preparedness. My name's Rick, and I'm an Average Joe. Okay, first things first. Yes, before anybody says anything, I need a haircut. This is the winter coat, whatever. And the weather's just starting to change, and hopefully it'll stay that way. It's been going up and down, so I'll be getting a haircut soon. So just so you know. Yes? Yes. Okay, the next thing is it's been a bit since my last video, and I say that a lot because a lot of times there's gaps in between the videos, and my reasoning is almost always the same, and that's because I've been busy. Yes, I've been busy living my life, I've been busy enjoying my life, I've been busy taking care of business, and I know I say it a lot. That being said, if you are into preparedness, not just basic emergency preparedness, but especially practical preparedness, if you're into practical preparedness, then you're probably busy too. Yes? Yes. Now, I hope you understand, I don't stop my regular life to do preparedness stuff. Yeah, that's not the way. I think that's kind of silly because I think it's supposed to be part of your life. If you're going to do it, it should be integrated into your life. So I have my life, but I'm also doing again, basic emergency preparedness, but I've moved up a little bit and I'm now in the practical preparedness for what's going on in the world. It's what I do. And if I'm going to make videos doing this is my opinion, guys. You can disagree if you want. But if I'm going to make videos talking about it, then I actually should be doing it. And the reason I do it is because that way I can tell you how easy this was or how difficult this was and how much money this cost and how much money I wasted if that happens on this thing. And so I can give you guys kind of a heads up, give you guys a, heads up, warnings or cautions or guidance or whatever. And that's what I think. Now I could be wrong. And when I run down the feeds and I look at the preparedness channels, I think in some instances I may be. Because I see a lot of people teaching or talking about preparedness. Usually it's in practical preparedness, or most of the time it's way up here in worst case scenario, and they don't seem to be doing it. You know what I mean? They seem to be more like figureheads or, I don't know, like hired actors almost. I'm not trying to be a jerk. It's just how it comes across to me. But it's just not the way I do business. Yes, and it probably shows by, no offense, guys, because if you're here, I love you, but it probably shows on what the public wants by looking at views and how many subscribers and sponsors and all the good kind of stuff, to where it's kind of like a TV show. Well, if you're here, you understand this is not like a TV show. So, once again, if you've been here a while, you're going to hate this, maybe. One of the basics for emergency preparedness, but definitely practical preparedness that I almost always talk about, is finances. And if anyone can convince me that finances is not required for, let's go with practical preparedness. Basic emergency preparedness, it's required because basic emergency preparedness is usually purchasing things. We've gone on that before, we'll go over it again. But anything, practical preparedness, anything that you need to be prepared for, if you boil it down, somewhere in there's going to be some money involved, which means you have to deal with your finances. So here's my thing, I guess if anybody can tell me I'm wrong, do it, please. I'm not joking around. I must be missing something because finance is there. Now, don't get me wrong, there's things you can do for free, like keeping physical fitness or learning things. You can go to the library, but that stuff takes time, and time, a lot of times, is equated with money. Yes? Yes. And again, my opinion, I'd like to think that I'm a good example, or I'm someone you can listen to when it comes to finances. And what I mean by that, please, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a banker, I'm not a CPA, but I am someone who struggled with finances because of bad choices in my life, and I have worked through them. And I'm like, okay, let's say this, I'm like right here almost, where I started like down here. I'm just putting my finger on this thing so you can see the scale. I was in really bad shape, and now I'm not. I mean, I'm doing okay. And again, this is mostly for people, average people, yes? So if you're not doing so well and you want, then you can go back and watch my videos or watch my future videos and listen what I've done, which nothing I invented. So let's make sure we're clear. But I'm letting you know, and the point of these channels is to live through stuff and to let people know this can be done. This was hard. How hard was it? And like I said, I'm an excellent example. It takes a long time. God, finances do, but it can be done. But I'll tell you what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to sell you something either literally or figuratively, or should I say figuratively or literally, like some people do, that's not real, that's not true. You with me? I mean, oh my God, I could tell you stories about how bad my finances were. I can tell you stories about what I've lived through, and now I can tell you where I am now, you know, which is actually pretty decent. And I think I've talked about it on more than one occasion, the small, medium, and large things that you can do to get yourself through that. Because again, if anyone can tell me how preparedness somewhere, boop, 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 doesn't boil down to finances in any way, you can let me know. Yes? I'm not joking. Be nice, though. I mean, be kind in the comments. Don't be mean, please, because I'm not trying to be a jerk or be sarcastic. I'd really like to know how, because I couldn't figure it out. Yes? Yes. But let me go ahead and talk about a case in point. I know I've talked about this. I've talked about how I take care of my major appliances. I know I have. And I think I've shown, I don't do many videos on it, but I did one video where I was just changing out the filter on my HVAC. And I know I've done videos on when my HVAC broke and I fix it. And I know I've done videos on replacing parts. And I know I've done videos where I talk about how I maintain my stuff. Case in point, this month, and I keep track of it like on a calendar, where my refrigerator and my coffee pot and my garbage disposal and my oven and my microwave and my dishwasher and my washing machines and my dryer, I've done all those so far this month. I still have more things to do, where I go over them and I clean them. Manufacturer, you can Google what the manufacturer wants you to do, where you go through and you clean them all up and you change out filters and you extend their life. Not only do you extend your life, but first what you're doing is you're making them work better, more efficient, which saves you money. Then you're extending their life, which saves you money. Yes? Yes. But it's not just that. It's, again, when I talk about preparedness, it's that comfortableness where you want to keep these things working and you want to keep them working well, because if any major appliance goes out, for most people, that's a big deal. If nothing else, it messes up your day or it messes up your week. You with me? And then when it comes to finances, I know I've talked about this, but if not, if you haven't heard it before, I'll tell you now, is I put a little money away. And we'll get to that here in a little bit, I guess. Where I put a little money here, 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 here. They call it envelope stuffing, which I don't actually do, but it's that same mentality where you put a little bit of money away for different things. And one of the things we put a little money away for is the house. But what it's for is in case the washing machine goes out, or the dryer goes out, or the refrigerator goes out, or blah, 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 so like a major appliance or something along those lines, then we can fix it. So if I can't extend the life, if it finally dies, whatever the heck it is, then I can just go purchase another one relatively quickly because I have the cash on hand. Does that make sense? Finances. Let me stop real quick and focus on that, the putting money away from different things. And living below my means, I've mentioned that before. It's something people should do. But the other thing is you put money aside for things that you know are going to happen. And it's a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here, and you get used to it, and you can raise it a little bit more. You can make it a little as you get used to it. Does that make any sense? And if you get a raise or whatever, then you take that and you don't get used to that money. You don't get used to it. Yeah, I got a raise. That's cool. All that money should be going somewhere. And to each person, they're going to come up with whether it's the retirement or paying off a car note, if that's what you have, or going towards your mortgage, or savings, 3 to 6 months of savings, or putting away for the house in case something goes wrong. You with me? Each person's got to come up with their own. I know what I've done, and I know what works for me. And I doubt that it's 100% the same as what would work for other people. Yes? But among all these little places where we, me and her, we put our money, one of them is into an account that's for the house. Now understand, it's part of a bigger plan, okay? And it was really small little amounts going when we owed money on our cars. Let's use that for an example. But we don't owe money on our cars anymore. So that money, instead of going, yeah, I got more money, I got no car payment, woo, woo, no. That money was used and we moved it somewhere else. You with me? And part of the place it went to was in case something went wrong with the house. And it also went towards the mortgage. That's why our mortgage is getting paid off very quickly, thank goodness. So, and again, that's up for each person to decide for themselves. I also have money going. I'm still trying to build up the 3 to 6 months of, it's supposed to be your expenses, but since most people live paycheck to paycheck, it should basically be 3 to 6 months of your salary. And I'm aiming for 6 months. So I'm still working on building that up, and it's coming along pretty good. So, and I have money going here, 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 here. Again, it's for each person, but I want to let you know it's part of a bigger plan, and there's reasons for it. And let me tell you some practical ones. Not recently, like the last couple of days, because I don't want to narrow it down too much, because I don't want people going to searching for the video, because I'm not going to mention the person, because then it seems like it's something negative. And I don't mention them when they're negative. Predominantly, I mention people when they're positive. But I was watching a video, and according to the subscribers, it's a monetized channel, So it's a monetized channel, and they were talking about how their washing machine went out. And then they couldn't replace it. And I was like, so I'm listening to them, and they're like, they didn't have money to replace it. They didn't have credit to replace it, or credit cards. I know I'm not an advocate of them, but in case of emergencies, they didn't have the credit to take out a loan, a signature loan or a private loan. And again, I'm not an advocate for these things, but they are tools that can be used. So I was like, hold on a second. It's a preparedness channel, but you weren't prepared. And I'm not trying to be a jerk, but your washing machine or a major appliance going out is way more. The odds of that are way more than World War III. You guys with me? I'm just saying. So maybe I'm going about this wrong, because I do stuff by numbers. I do stuff by percentage. I have little first aid kits, because me cutting myself, it's a lot more. The odds are a lot more that I'm going to cut myself and need a Band-Aid than I need a full IFAC big thing with the spiel that goes down, and breathing thing, and a tourniquet and sutures. And you see what I'm saying? So I focus on percentage. What are the numbers? What's probably going to happen? Not what could happen. I get you. Anything is possible. I've mentioned it before. I'll mention it again. Focus on what's probable. A major appliance going out is more probable than you not having access to a grocery store for 6 months. You with me? I mean, I could Google it and find the numbers, but just off the top of my head, that seems pretty self-evident. So, info you, if you're watching this and you watch other ones and you're like, man, this guy, maybe it's because that's what I do. Maybe that's where I'm wrong, is I go by the numbers. So I look at my life, and I look at the world, and I go, what is more likely to happen? That's what I'm being prepared for. You with me? If the filter on my washing machine, or excuse me, let's say my refrigerator, the filter on my refrigerator is going to clog, for the water, before there's going to be a civil war. Well, I show you, I have spare filters for my refrigerator. That's what it's practical preparedness for me. It's not worst case scenario preparedness. Don't get me wrong. We've talked about it before. When you do practical, you get a little bit of percentage wise for worst case scenario. But basically, to me, I focus on the practical. Yes. And just one more. It's a little bigger. To make my point, there was another content creator. This wasn't that long ago. Again, I'm not going to tell you when, because I don't want you hunting them down. A big content creator, and I know that they're monetized and they're sponsored. You with me? So big, huge content creator, been around for years, and I know for a fact they've shown about rice and beans, and they're putting them in the bags, and they've got years worth of food, and they show the food behind, and first aid kits. And like I said, they've been sponsored, so they got all kinds of cool stuff. Remember, guys, I'm not sponsored. So anything you see is in works, and I wasn't sponsored by anybody as of yet. I'm just kidding. So yeah, anything you see behind me, I can talk about that in a sec, is not sponsored stuff. What I'm getting at is this person's been sponsored and has been monetized for years. Yes? And when it comes to finances, I do any kind of practical preparedness, but definitely finances, is to put myself at ease and set myself up for success so my life is not disturbed. And in my mind, that's what preparedness is all about. That's why I have a first aid kit. So if you get a cut, you just go get the Band-Aid on. Or that's why financially you do it, so that if something happens, you don't lose your mind. And that's why I learned how to bake bread, because if I go to the store and go, oh my God, the price of everything went up, I can just go home and bake my own bread and not have to pay you know, $5 for a loaf of bread or whatever the heck the expensive ones are right now. I try to do it to make my life better. That's why I have spare parts and blah, blah, blah. Is my life, I want my life smooth. And no matter where you look, I think, and again, you can tell me if I'm wrong, anywhere on the preparedness spectrum, is that's what it's for, is to keep your life as smooth as possible in extraordinary circumstances. Yes? Okay, well, I can't think of anything more extraordinary than my living arrangements being beyond my control, where I wake up tomorrow and I have to move. Does that make sense? I'm just saying. So this content creator basically didn't have a place to live, just relatively quickly. And what made it worse is they talked about the fact that they were afraid this was coming. They thought it might happen. And I'm like, okay, you've got like a year's worth of food and you've been producing these videos for years and you're monetized and you're sponsored, and yet you didn't have a secure living space. And I'm not talking about like there was an earthquake, even though I try not to live in earthquake places, or there was a hurricane and I try not to live where hurricanes are. Tornado came and I don't live where tornadoes are. No, I'm talking about just it wasn't secured and they just had to move. And I was like, holy Moses. I can't think of anything more, except for a major, you know, like disaster. I can't think of anything more disrupting to someone's life. Yes? Yes. All right, let's tie a bow on this. I live what I'm telling you. And maybe that's why my videos aren't totally cool and, you know, with like animated intros and cool music and stuff, but and it might not be entertaining, but what I'm telling you, everything I'm saying is truthful. Everything I show you is truthful. And if it's painful or if it's easy or if it was hard or if it was expensive, all that's truthful. So anyways, that's where we're at. So let me try to end on a positive note. Oh, finances. Okay, so and I'm going to answer, not this back over here. I have not, oh God, it's heavy. I have not made it a secret that this, for emergency food, for camping food, for long-term food, I'm going to put myself out there, I've done it before, is Mountain House. This is my favorite so far. Yes? Yes. You guys should know by now, I'm not sponsored, and I'm pretty sure Mountain House doesn't need this guy in his garage. Yes? Yes. But, I mean, I've tried other stuff. I have other stuff for emergencies. I've shown that stuff before. But when it comes down to it, when I'm camping or traveling in my car and I carry that kind of stuff, the freeze-dried meals, they are my favorite. Now, if anybody has any recommendations, like, no, Rick, you should try X, Y, or Z, let me know. I mean, if you want to type down there in the comments and say, well, Rick, you should try this one. And I'll let you know if I've tried it. And if I haven't tried it, maybe I'll get a hold of a sample pack or something. Why? Hold on. How am I going to do that? I'll tell you. Because you know all those little places I put my money? A teeny little bit I put aside just to buy prepper stuff. Preparedness stuff. Whatever you want to call it. And it ain't a lot. So it takes a while for that to build up. Just thought I'd let you know. Yes? Yes. Somebody's going to say, Rick, what the heck does that got to do with tying a bow and a positive finance? I'll tell you, this stuff is expensive to me. Some people might be out there going, Rick, it ain't that expensive. Well, to me, it is. You see what I'm saying? And it only gets more expensive all the time. And just a few days, a week ago, random, it doesn't matter why or how, I looked and Mountain House was having a sale. And I didn't see it advertised anywhere. I didn't see any content creators talking about it. I just happened to run into it because I was looking for something else. And this right here, proteins, most especially proteins, guys, they are really expensive. 50% off. Yes? I'm letting you know, I looked just before I started making this video, so I can't say when this video is going out. But I can tell you right now, as of me coming down here to make this video, they're still 50% off. These. And then other proteins are like 45% off. I think the cheapest thing I saw, or the least thing I saw was like 35% off. So, Mountain House. If anybody has had any problems with Mountain House, you can let me know. I never have. But I'm letting you know right now, I don't know how long it's going to be, Mountain House is on sale. Now, one of those little coupon codes I'm going to give you for 10% off. It's like 50% off from them. Just saying. And that's how I get stuff. I put a little money aside just in case I happen to find something. The universe sends it to me, or whatever words you want to use. And boom, I get it. And this stuff is like, what, 20, 25 years that I have. It's protein. And proteins, if you look for freeze-dried foods, or if you look for long-term food storage, or if you look for even short-term food storage, canned food, or if you look for any kind of emergency stuff, proteins are usually the most expensive. Yes, if anybody disagrees, let me know. Yay. But anyways, that's how I got this. In case you're wondering how somebody who's really tight with his finances ended up getting stuff like this. That's how I did. Okay, a couple more things, and then I got to go. Why? Because I'm busy. Yes? And because the sun's starting to come out, which means I'm going to be even more busier. So I'm going to put this off over here. Couple things real quick. You guys know what these are? Strawberries. If you've been here a while, do you know why I got this? Oh, by the way, these are the ones for fall. Because you know those ones that are supposed to be year-round, and they don't work for me. So I'm tearing those bad boys up, and I'm planting fall strawberries, and hopefully they'll work. And you guys see these? Blueberry bushes, 2 of them. Now, I've done 2 blueberry bushes before. One of them is still alive. One of them died, so I'm going to try 2 more this year. Yes? Why? Because, come on, blueberries, strawberries. Yes? It's going to be out in my backyard, and they're going to be organic, non-GMO, and I don't use poisons, and you guys know what I'm talking about. Yes? Long term. You want to talk long term? This is long term if you guys want to have some food, and that is do it yourself. Yes? Yes. But more importantly for me, I got grandkids coming over, and they can just, hopefully they'll grow, and they'll be pulling berries off the bushes and picking strawberries and eating them in grandpa's backyard. You know what I'm talking about, right? I hope so. Anyways. Okay, and then one more thing. Let me just show you half of it. The stuff I have behind me. You guys see this? I think you've seen over here charging. It's a little gun, and I not a real gun, people. Come on now. It's a little tool, and it's like drill, and it's kind of like this, except it's a wee little one, and it's a really nice tool, and it was really cheap like 12 years ago, and it's still cheap now, and it's good for those minor little things around the house. Well, it stopped working. Yes? Well, that doesn't stop me now, does it? And it turns out that the batteries aren't charging. So I took it apart, ordered some new batteries, which are basically the same, excuse me, they're the same batteries I use someplace else. Did you know it uses the same batteries that, you know your little solar lights outside? The little ones that I have some on fence posts, and I have the kind you stick in the ground, the bigger ones. Yeah, these are the same batteries. The same types of batteries that go in your lawn lights, for lack of a better term, are the same ones in groups of 4 soldered, which I'll be doing some soldering, that power up small little rechargeable tools like that. I didn't know that, yes, until I took it apart, and then I found out. And I'm going to fix that. And hopefully next time I'll show you it'll be fixed. And somebody might say, Rick, why would you do that? It's a cheap little thing. Yeah, you're right. It is a cheap little thing. However, if I fix it, then now I've taught myself a skill. I know how to fix it. I actually like it. For just working around the house, the little things, I don't need to bust out that, no, for like a little screw. Done. You guys with me? Yay. And then one more thing. When it comes to putting the money aside, 4 things. Yes? I put the money aside a little bit at a time. It's painful. It takes discipline. I know people don't want to do it. I get it. I get it because I'm the one doing it. So you don't have to tell me, well, that sucks, right? And it takes a long time, and you know, and you need discipline to do it. And you got to just do it, and every month and every paycheck and everything. Yeah, I know. I'm the guy telling you. So you don't have to tell me. But here we go. Look what I finally got. It's a silky saw. Not sponsored, people. I purchased this. So right now, what I use to cut my trees, I have a foldable collapsible saw just like this. I could show you to you if I haven't shown it to you already. I got one I got from like Walmart. It's just some cheap thing. I've been using it for years, and I've been sharpening the blade, and then I use it, and I sharpen the blade, and the little thing falls off, and I put it back on, and yeah, and I'm still going to use it. Yes? Remember, I put a little money away, little money away, little money away, little money away. And I was finally able to purchase one of these. So I don't know when I'm actually going to use it, because I'll use that other one until it friggin' dies. And then I'll let you guys know, because you know what they say about silkies. If you don't, I'll tell you. There's like the biggest, I think it's just about the biggest prepper channel there is. And he is always selling these things. Yes? But there's other ones, and I've read the reviews, and supposedly they're good. But we're going to find out. Yes? And it'll probably take a couple years for me to give you a good opinion because that's what I do. I don't go, oh, look, and I unbox and go, look, it looks really, no. I'm going to wear the living crap out of this thing. Pardon my language, guys. The crud. I'm going to use the crud out of this thing before I tell you if this thing was actually worth the money. Luckily, it wasn't that expensive. I got one of the smaller ones. Yes? Yes. But that's how I get stuff. A little bit at a time, over years. If you want something really fast, if you want an answer instead of a solution, it doesn't work well. So, my opinion. But for those of you struggling along, a little bit at a time, putting a little money aside, 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 working, grinding away, I can tell you that eventually it will succeed. Yes? Yes. All right, final thought. I talked to you guys that I was going to go back and look at my old videos and see if anything would have changed, lesson learned. I think I've already done it like once or twice, so I'm going to do it again. I think it was my third and fourth video, because with two-part video, ones I did like years ago, and the third and fourth video I did were on finances. That's right, it's been a common theme since then. And let me tell you what, although when I did it, I was young, and I was still full of energy and, life and whatever. Now I'm just an old man, and I've been worn down. I still believe in everything I said. Yes, I wouldn't change anything. And I'm in a better position now because of it than I was then. So I don't know. I couldn't find anything. I went over it real fast, and I couldn't find anything that wasn't true, that I still didn't believe it. So info you, if you want to go back and watch them, maybe I'll plug them right here. There's two of them, long time ago. I look so different. Excuse me, dry throat. You should edit your videos better, Rick. Nope. Okay, that's about it for now. Until next time, I hope this finds you happy. I hope you are positive, and I hope wherever you are on your preparedness journey that you are being prepared.